Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at how to convert to black and white in Adobe Camera Raw. So I'm going to open the purple flower Camera Raw image, and we'll see that it needs some of the basic adjustments such as contrast, clarity, some vibrance, highlights and shadows adjusted. Maybe give it a little boost in exposure. Okay. And so when I'm happy with where the image is, I can see before and after by clicking down here. Contrast and clarity really make a big difference. Okay, and so once you're ready and you have your adjustments in Camera Raw exactly where you want them to be, then you can go about converting it to black and white. So the first thing I'm going to do is open the Hsl Grayscale Panel, and that is located over here with all the other panels in Camera Raw. So right now we are on the basic panel, then there's tone curve, detail, and then after that the fourth one over is Hsl Grayscale. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to check the convert to grayscale box. And you'll see where the image is converted to grayscale here. Now I can go through and adjust the individual sliders on this image to adjust the contrast. We'll see I'm probably going to get the most out of my blues and purples because of the color of the image, the flowers that we started with. I could also go ahead and click auto and it would do an auto adjustment for converting it to grayscale. I can always refer back to the default by clicking the default button, and then I can go in and make my adjustments as I want. And sometimes hitting auto is a good idea, and then you can go in and adjust the sliders after the fact to get a unique black and white conversion. Now when you have it where you want it, go ahead and click Open Image, and your image will open in Photoshop. And you'll see that it's been renamed here as gray to show that it was a grayscaled image. Okay, so for 8C, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to open the purple flower image into Adobe Camera Raw and do a grayscale conversion. Yours needs to be unique. It doesn't need to match mine exactly. Then you're going to open it into Photoshop, and you're going to go and do Command Shift S, and you're going to name it 8C, your last name, underscore purple flower PSD. Make sure it's in your Chapter 8 folder and save that image. When you're through, go ahead and close it out. Next, we're going to look at a partial color effect. Selective color is very popular, especially in a lot of weddings, some commercial work, etc. And it works really well when you are trying to accentuate just one part of an image. And so, first thing we need to do is open an image. We're going to go File, Browse and Bridge, and select an image that I want to do selective color on. And so the first thing I'm going to do is always duplicate my background image, and then I'm going to apply my black and white adjustment. And as always, it does a pretty good job. I can always go in and make adjustments based on what I know about my image as well. Now for selective coloring, all you have to do is, if you did an adjustment to convert your image to black and white, you can go in and you can mask out the area you want to be in color using the layer mask that's applied anytime you make an adjustment layer. So I'm going to make sure I have my layer mask selected. I'm going to get a nice soft brush and I'm going to start painting in black on my layers mask. And you can see where I am now able to just bring the color back on the scooter here. And so what I would do is I would just go in and paint all the area that I want to show, which is just going to be the scooter here. First I do a rough in around the edges, and you can see I'm being very sloppy, so I've got some cleanup work that's going to happen. Color reflection happening here on the mirror that I want to be able to show. A little bit here as well. So I'm wanting to get all this silver area. Now, that was very sloppy. So I'm going to zoom in and we're going to take a look at these edges. And so I'm going to reduce my brush size, switch to a white brush by hitting the X key, and I'm going to go around the edges of my image and remove any of the mask that I did not mean to show by painting it white. And now if I make a mistake, and I don't want the black to have a color cast, so I'm just the silver. We want the blacks to be nice and black, so we're adding some of the blue and colors in, but we don't want like where it was showing red and stuff. So I'm being very particular, paying attention to the details as I go through and refine the areas I'm painting in using my layer mask. And sometimes you're zoomed in so much you get the grid showing pixel by pixel, and you're using a brush that might be 1 or 2 pixels in size. And sometimes that's what it takes to get an accurate mask. And so I just keep one hand on my X key, so it makes it extremely easy for me to switch back and forth. And of course I'm just paying extra careful attention, and what you would do is you will go around the entire perimeter of your image to make sure that you don't have any of these issues. And I'm just removing the color cast on the parts that I want to remain black and white, and I'm painting the color back in on the areas that I want to show selective color. I'm going to zoom out. It's looking a little bit better. We can see over here to the left where I had a lot of area that needs some attention. Let me zoom in and quickly go through and remove the color from that area by painting in the mask. Alright, so I'm going to continue that. Okay, and then when you're happy with your selection, you can turn your adjustment layer on and off, and you should be able to see the areas that you've done your black and white conversion on, and then your mask will show through and allow you to see the colored area. Now you're going to do this similar technique on the tea time image. So you're going to go to Bridge and select teatime.jpg, and you're going to follow the steps on pages 339 and 340, 1 through 3, to show the color on the green t-shirts and the orange t-shirt. Everything else in the image will be converted to black and white, and you're going to paint out the orange and green t-shirts and have those colors show. When you're through, you'll be saving that as 8D. So Command-Shift-S. Make sure you're in your Chapter 8 folder. Type in 8D, your last name, _T time. And you'll do that after you do your layer mask. Make sure to duplicate your background layer before you get started. And again, you are showing the 2 green t-shirts and the 1 orange t-shirt in color and converting the rest of the image to black and white. Now make sure that you are saving this as a PSD file in your Chapter 8 folder once you have completed those 3 steps on pages 339 and 340.